Hey, cheers everybody. Welcome back to Headbanger's Closet. Appreciate all you guys checking out the channel. It's Friday night, and what better way than to spend it than to drink a couple of beers, listen to some heavy metal, and do a video for you guys. So today was an epic mail day. One of the best mail days I've ever had. If you follow my Instagram page, go check it out. I posted a video, I've already had too many of these. I posted a photo today of all the records I got in the mail today, and one of them that came in was going to be the subject of today's video. Now I'm going to show you guys everything I got in the mail today later at the end of this video, but I want to talk about an underrated album. You guys know how much I love talking about underrated bands, underrated records, and two albums I feel that are crazy underrated. Both of them are in my top 15 of my all-time favorite heavy metal albums. Both of these bands are in my top 5 favorite heavy metal bands. So let's get right to it. Let's get a sip of this first. That's good stuff. So anyway, first record is Megadeth's third full-length record. So Far, So Good, So What. Came out January 19th, 1988. Picked this up online. It's a first U.S. pressing, and I've already got a couple of versions of this, but I don't have any with some of the, I guess you call them hype stickers. This one says, lyrics may be considered offensive by some audiences. And I really wanted a version with that on there. It's also a price tag. It says $39. So the dude who sold this to me probably bought it at some record store, kept it for a while, and sold it to me. It's in fairly good shape. There's a couple of creases on the corners and some dings and dents and stuff like that. But overall, it's in pretty good shape. Like I said, first pressing U.S. on Capitol Records. Comes with the sleeve with the lyrics, liner notes, and a picture of the guys in the band. Capitol Records, nothing fancy here, just your standard fare black vinyl, standard Capitol Records label. If you know Capitol Records from the 80s, they've all kind of got that rainbow circular look to it. Nothing special, but really, really cool to get another first pressing. I've got another one that's in really bad condition, but does not have the stickers on it. And like I said, I kind of wanted one with that sticker still on it. So there it is right there. But yeah, this thing came out, like I said, January 19th, 1988. It is Megadeth's third record, and then I might have mentioned this before in the channel, like a long time ago, but when I first heard this album, it was like maybe high school, like 92, 93, and I remember, and I had heard a lot of the other Megadeth stuff before, and I thought this was their second record. It's got the sound of a second record. Now, I've known now that that's basically because Dave Mustaine was on a shitload of drugs while he was making it, so it wasn't the most polished album. Sounds amazing. It's a great record, but it's got that second album vibe, you know? I mean, Peace Sells, which came before it, September 19th, 1986. Much better sounding record, in my opinion. Peace Sells, for a long time, this one was my all-time favorite Megadeth record. But as time passes, I gotta say, Peace Sells is my favorite Megadeth record. But this thing, you know, kind of gets forgotten. I mean, it's a great album. My good buddy James, I know he's going to watch this, so shout out to James. Appreciate all the support, brother. Anyway, James, this is his favorite Megadeth record. And, you know, I can't really disagree with that. It's a great album. It's often overlooked, and hence why I'm doing this video, because you guys know, like I said it before, I love underrated stuff. You know, it's sandwiched between two classic records, 1986's Peace Sells and 1990's Rust in Peace. I mean, those two albums are widely regarded as two of the best heavy metal albums of all time. And then this thing kind of gets forgotten, but it's phenomenal. I mean, you know, classic Megadeth lineup, basically all you need is Dave and Dave, right? I mean, those first few records, there was a lot of lineup changes, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's got Dave and Dave. That was the core group of the band. That was the founding guys in the band. That's all you need. So, side one, let's kick it off. One of the most badass instrumentals of all time, just a major riffage and solo-a-thon. It's called Into the Lungs of Hell. So awesome. Goes right into Set the World Afire. Another badass, phenomenal track. One of the best Megadeth songs out there. Which this album has a lot of those. And, you know, I gotta say, the line, The Arsenal of Megadeth, the story goes that when Dave was kicked out of Metallica, they put him on a Greyhound bus from Rochester, New York to L.A. or San Fran, wherever he's going. He's from L.A., but the band was in San Fran, so maybe he was going there. I don't know. Anyway, he's on like a week and a half bus ride. And he's got that magazine, I believe it was Time magazine, maybe Newsweek. And the headline had Reagan and I think Gorbachev on it. In the background, there was like some missiles. I remember when I was a kid, I actually saw that magazine. And it said The Arsenal of Megadeth. And that title of the magazine kind of gave him the line for that song, for Set the World Afire. It's a great thrash metal song. Next, you've got Anarchy in the UK, which is a killer cover tune. A lot of bands have done it. Megadeth does it really, really well. Can't really tell it's a cover tune when they do it. Then you got Mary Jane, closes out side 1. Cool tune, not awesome. Side 2, 502, just like a car racing tune. He's got another one of those on the album 13, I believe. And I cannot remember the name of that tune, but it's pretty badass. Anyway, then you got In My Darkest Hour, which is phenomenal. Somebody once told me this is kind of like an ode to Cliff Burton, which when you listen to the lyrics, some of them maybe kind of don't seem that way. When he's like, "You just laughed, haha, bitch." And I said, "Is that not really Cliff?" I don't think, because from everything I've read, Dave really loved Cliff. So I don't really think that maybe parts of the song is about Cliff. I don't know, but great tune. Then you got Liar, and then the album closes out with Hook and Mouth, which is a great tune, another badass track, underrated track, one of my top probably 10 to 12 favorite Megadeth tunes, Hook and Mouth. Just a really, really good song. Great record. Give it another listen. It's hard to argue with Peace Sells and Rust in Peace. I get it. Those are phenomenal records. I love both of those albums. But damn, give this thing another listen. You know, like I said, it sounds like a second record. I guess due to Dave's drug use. But, you know, it's got that raw aggression. And it's kind of got that vibe of a band still trying to prove themselves. Which, in my opinion, they kind of already did with Peace Sells. But I think it's magnificent. So, yeah, check it out. Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What. Awesome album. Let's put it over here. So the next one I want to talk about, I already showed this record like the last episode. Slayer, South of Heaven. But, you know, I want to talk about it some more. Okay, so this is, if you remember the last episode, or if you watched the last episode, this is a UK pressing on Def Jam Records. And again, it's got the stickers right here. The hype sticker right there. I love it. Picture of the guys in the band. I mean, this thing came out July 5th, 1988. Same year as Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What. And just like Megadeth, this badass album is sandwiched between two arguably classic records. Just like the Megadeth records, everyone will agree. 1986's Rain and Blood and 1990's Seasons in the Abyss are two of the classic heavy metal albums of our time. Rain and Blood, a lot of people like to say or argue that it's the best thrash album of all time. There's a bunch of records I've heard people giving that title to. I'm not going to do that on this episode. I just want to talk about these records. I mentioned it, like I said, in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, how awesome this thing is. First UK pressing. Oh, I love the way it smells. It kind of smells like old library. I dig it. There's the Def Jam recordings, lyrics. There's no inner sleeve, no insert or nothing like that. Rather, this sleeve's kind of coming apart. But there we go. It's just another standard fare black vinyl Def Jam records. But this thing's great too, man. I kind of feel bad for it and So Far, So Good, So What. Because, like I said, they get overlooked, and I kind of don't disagree that they get overlooked because they are sandwiched. I'm going to say it like a million friggin' times. This might be a new drinking game whenever I say sandwiched between two classic metal albums, but it's the truth. But I'll tell you one thing. When Slayer plays live, there's a bunch of tunes on the set list from this record. So let's go through it again. Side 1, South of Heaven, Silent Scream, into Live Undead. I can't really explain how awesome that is, where Silent Scream just kind of keeps going. It's like you're thinking it's fading out, and then all of a sudden right into Live Undead. Then Behind the Crooked Cross, Mandatory Suicide, closed out side 1. I mean, that's a hell of a side in any heavy metal album. Just great side. Side 2, you got Ghosts of War, Read Between the Lies, Cleanse the Soul, Dissident Aggressor, which is a Judas Priest cover. Sounds awesome. And then the last tune on the album is Spill the Blood, which is kind of like a little bit slower tune. Kind of starts off a lot like South of Heaven, then it gets a little heavy. Spill the Blood, in my opinion, when you listen to it, you can easily make a case for this thing to be on Seasons in the Abyss. It just kind of has that tempo and vibe to it that Seasons in the Abyss tunes had. But great record, love it. Just like So Far, So Good, So What, I don't think it gets enough attention because it's sandwiched between two classic heavy metal records. There we go, drink. But it's the truth, and again, I don't disagree with that. I just think it needs more love. And that's why I'm doing a video on it, because I think you guys should check it out again. Give it a spin, listen to it front to back, and then tell me again how amazing this record is, and Megadeth So Far, So Good, So What. So yeah, I want to know what you guys have to say about these two records. Two of the best records of all time in heavy metal, and they are underappreciated in my opinion. So, that's the albums I wanted to talk about today. So let's now get into the records that came in the mail. And the first one is 1985's Razor's Executioner song from 1985. This is a reissue. Picked this up online. Came in the mail today, obviously, on Storm from the Past Records. That's kind of cool. In the back, it says, "Welcome to the slaughter. I hope you're having fun." These guys from Canada. I don't know because I know they're from Canada, but they kind of look like they're from Canada. And I don't mean that in a negative way. But this is a reissue, like I said. And they did a really good job with it. I mean, you get... Dude, check this out. Hold on a second. Let me show you the record first before I do all this. So you get the insert. And it is a blank white cardboard. There's the lyrics right here. Alright, so this is pretty cool. These are on colored vinyl. So you got kind of like that blood red, Razor blood red right there. Pretty cool. I dig it. You know, like I said, they do a good job, this record label. So you get, let's try to kind of, let's get a poster of the album cover. It's basically like 24 by 24 poster of the album cover. Kind of cool. I'm going to have to hang that up in the Headbangers Closet. Now, you guys, some news here. Headbangers Closet might be moving to another closet. A bigger one. Looking to move my home. So, kind of got some things in the works. So, hopefully, soon I'll be coming to you in a new location that's going to be bigger and better. I'm going to frame, I've got a shit ton of framed posters. I'm going to put them on the wall, you know, do it all upright. Don't have to do any Zoom meetings anymore where they can be like, what the hell's that behind you? But yeah. Razor's Executioner song, 1985. Really, really good record. Check it out. Just a standard, really cool thrash record. It doesn't sound like massively produced, but just really, really good thrash. Just great riffs, cool vocals, get headbang to it. And here's another Razor album. It's called Evil Invaders. It also came out in 1985. Again, another record reissue from Storm from the Past Records. Basically, same deal. You get the lyrics. You get a poster. 48 by 48 poster. Or, excuse me, 24 by 24 poster right there. Pretty cool. And this album, I believe, yep, it's on blue. Just kind of like the album covers. They kind of do their spin on it. So, pretty cool. There we go. Again, another just classic 80s style thrash record. If you dig 80s style, just old school thrash, you're going to love Razor if you haven't checked them out. Really good, just like Executioner song. Evil Invaders doesn't sound crazy produced. I mean, you can kind of tell they don't have like a budget like, you know, Metallica or like Megadeth Slayer does. It's a little bit kind of goes skimping on the production value there, but man, the raw power and aggression and just straight up thrash metal, everything that makes thrash metal from the 80s awesome is all there. It's in there in spades. Just, it's like, riffarama on both of these freaking records. So awesome. Check them out. Really good band, Razor. There's a lot of records, a lot of 80s records. I think they got like 5 or 6 records they put out in the 80s that are just awesome. Go check them out. They're really, really cool. I love these dudes. A lot of their original pressings are just really hard to find, and when you find them, they're crazy expensive. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pay like $130 for the record. I'm going to buy the reissue for like $25, $30, and that'll do just fine. I don't need a first pressing on everything. Just my like top 5 favorite bands. I try to get everything first USA, UK, and Japan for most of them. So the next thing that came in the mail today is kind of another bucket list item for me. The item that made me want to start collecting way back in the day was the Creeping Death single. And I met a guy, well, actually I had a friend that had an older brother that had like 4 of them. And I was like, oh, they come in all these different colors. It's like super cool. I kind of wanted them all. So lo and behold, I started doing it. And I kind of forgot about it for a while. Let me get a sip of beer. But as I got older and got a job, graduated college, got a job, become an adult and a professional, I was like, oh, I got a little bit of money now. I can kind of afford some of these that back when I was in high school, if you could find them, they were like $5, $10. Because in high school, nobody gave a shit about records. Nobody knew that records would kind of have this huge resurgence like they did. People were like throwing them in the freaking garbage. They wanted like CDs, and cassette tapes, and records were going in the trash. People, some record stores in where I grew up in Massachusetts, they had them, and there was like a bin of like heavy metal records in the back, and it was like, 5 for $10 or something, 5 for $25. I think it was like $5 a piece for the records. They didn't care about it, and man, I wish I would have dug through those bins back in the day. But yeah, so here it is, Metallica's Creeping Death. I've done an episode on this particular single a while back of all the ones I had. Well, this is one of the more rarer, hard to find ones. Is the solid green. Picked it up to some Music for Nations. Came out, I think, in 84. I don't remember the date actually, but I watched an episode. I'll do a new episode soon on this because I'm only missing one. Now they came out with a different, like 80 or 1990. Music for Nations put out a few more colors. They put out a blue, and then a solid blue and a translucent blue. They put out another red and a translucent red. They put out black, and I think another green one, and it had a different label than this original. But I don't want those. I just want these originals from '84. And yeah, Metallica's Creeping Death on solid green, really cool. I've only got one left to complete the collection. It's the translucent green, so really, really excited to have this. This is in good condition. There's a minor split right here on the top, but the sleeve's in good shape. Everything else is in good shape. There's not really any creases or dents, but really cool. Next record is Atrophies, Socialized Hate. I believe this is their first record, and this is a reissue on Massacre Records. Great underrated thrash band from the 80s, much like Razor. Keep that in the back of your head, underrated 80s thrash bands. Going to be doing an episode on that. I'm going to be bringing you guys my top 10 underrated 80s thrash bands with a handful of honorable mentions. Not bands, but records. So let's kind of, no confusion, this can be 1980s underrated thrash records. So going to be giving you guys my top 10. Going to be doing an honorable mention, so stay tuned for that. I've been looking forward to doing this episode for a really, really long time. I really love listening to all the kind of 80s thrash bands I kind of forgot about. Excuse me. But this Atrophies is not one of them. Socialized Hate is a great album. Highly recommend all you guys checking it out. First, side one, you got Chemical Dependency, Killing Machine, Matter of Attitude, Preacher Preacher, and Beer Bong. Great tune. They sing about all different beers, back in the day they were drinking, so cheers to that. Side 2, you got Socialized Hate, Best Defense, Products of the Past, Rest in Pieces, and Urban Decay. And this is a reissue I picked up on Discogs. kind of much like a Razor. I was looking for original pressings recently. I love these guys. I've got their first 2 records on CD. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick up the vinyl, you know, show them on the channel. And they were definitely going to be, or this particular album in general is going to be in my top 80s underrated thrash records. But, you know, the records are pretty expensive. It was like $300 on eBay. They were like European versions, so didn't really want to pay another $50 just to get it here. So I picked this up on Discogs. It's kind of the clear vinyl, which is pretty cool. Check it out. Excuse me. Yeah, it's awesome record. Atrophies, Socialized, Hate. If you like thrash metal, I mean, again, it sounds like 80s old school thrash metal, but this is a little bit more modern sounding, and you can kind of hear like early Pantera in it a little bit. So maybe like Vinny and Dime were listening to these guys back in the day. Really, really cool stuff. Oh, hold on, wait, there's an insert here. Hang on. So just a clown. I'm not really into clowns. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I'm afraid of clowns. I don't care. I don't care who knows. Great record. Check it out. Atrophy, Socialized, Hate. Really great band, underrated band, which is why this album is gonna be in that video, which I'm really excited about. I cannot wait to do that episode for you guys. Like I said, been doing a lot of research for it. I pretty much have everything I want to show you in my collection, but I kind of want to listen to more of the stuff and kind of get a good ranking in, because I really want to do my 1 through 10 ranking and then give like 3 or 4 honorable mentions. So. And last but not least, we're well over 20 minutes in this episode, and I really don't want to do that. We got an Iron Maiden bootleg. The British are coming again. And this is from my home state of Massachusetts. Recorded live at the Xfinity Center, which, anybody watching this from Massachusetts, it's Great Woods. I don't give a shit how many times a sponsor changes the name. It's freaking Great Woods. It always will be. It always has been. It always will be. It's Great Woods. So, Great Woods in Mansfield, Massachusetts, July 19th, 2017. I believe this was on the Book of Souls tour, which I actually saw here in Atlanta. But really, really cool. It's a, I think it was like a 3 LP set. So, you got side 1, Doctor, If Eternity Should Fall, Speed of Light. Side 2, you got Wrathchild, Children of the Damned, Death or Glory. Side 3, you got the Red and the Black, which I love that too. It's like a 15-minute freaking song, but it's awesome. Then you got the Trooper, side 4, Power Slave, The Great Unknown, side 5, The Book of Souls, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, side 6, Number of the Beast, Blood Brothers, and Wasted Years. Really, really cool set list. I know a lot of people don't like some of the more recent stuff from Iron Maiden. I love it. That album, Book of Souls, got a lot of good tunes on it, and the ones they played on these shows were really, really good. So I'll show you guys what these records are all about. Kind of come out really, really cool. You know, insert right here. You got the British are coming again. You know, like the Paul Revere riding through Boston. You know, the Redcoats are coming. The Redcoats are coming. And then you got the Book of Souls in the back. So this, like I said, 3 records are all different colors, which I love. This one's blue, obviously. And it's the same label, both sides. Oh. Next one's kind of gold. Not really a fan of gold vinyl, to be honest. I think it's kind of weird. It almost looks like that gold Christmas wrapping. This kind of looks fake to me. It almost looks like you can peel it off. And I don't know why it's like that. The other colors don't seem like that. But it looks like, whatever it is, when I see gold, it kind of looks like it's painted on badly. And this one's on white, which I love. I love white vinyl. Really, really cool. I actually have not listened to it yet because it just came in the mail today. I wanted to open it up, show you guys. Great looking record. Great looking records, I should say. Let's see, who's this? What record company is on? It's number 58 of 500, limited edition. I do not see a record label, but whatever. Really cool. They did a good job. You know, whoever it was, packaging up, choosing all the different colors, making a really cool Iron Maiden Eddie artwork on the front, so really cool. So yeah, that's what I got in the mail today. One of the best hauls I've ever had in one day. Loved everything I got. Hope you guys did too. What do you guys think about that Megadeth So Far So Good So What record and Slayer's South of Heaven? Let me know in the comments below, and hopefully you guys dig my videos. I'll have another one for you guys very soon. Cheers.